Good morning. I thought I'd bring you my voice for this week's update. We are entering the fourth week of the semester. At this point, you should be really narrowing your research topics. As I read through your discussions and your research questions, one thing I was noticing is that some of you are still very broad. You're dealing with topics more so, like let's say obesity or gun control. That's too huge. What's your particular angle that you want to focus on with your research? Part of this really means that you're delving into the research. You're seeing what's out there and you're starting to actually do the research and see some of the potential subtopics that are going on. Another important thing I want you to think about as you fine-tune what it is exactly that you're going to research is that research is really inquiry. It's a matter of asking questions, seeking answers to those questions. And when you finally arrive at your proposed research question that's going to guide you for the semester, I want you to think about what I call the so what question. Why does it matter? If you want to look at, let's say, something related to legislation around GMOs. Think about, well, why does that matter? Does that matter because it helps make us more aware? Does it matter because we're learning about practices that are harmful to ourselves or to the environment? Does it matter because it's the future of society? I mean, I'm just throwing things out, but ask yourself, kind of do a little free writing. So what? Try and get to that. Make sure you look carefully through the research proposal assignment. It is due by Saturday at midnight through the Dropbox. And if you notice, it's really asking you what's the working title for your project. And when I say project, this is what you're researching the whole semester. This is the topic you're going to be creating different genre pieces about, that you're going to be reading about all semester, looking at different sources. I want to know a summary of the project. I want to know, when I say different conversations taking place, that means, what does different research say? I want to see that you've actually delved in and are starting to read sources. This isn't just generalized things you know about. Again, I want to know the keywords, search terms, but make them more specific at this point. My hope is that between last week and this week, you're narrowing your topics some, right? Look at the research questions and again, use the textbook reading to help you generate specific things. Then I want to know, why are you working on this project? Of course, you can be snarky like me and say, I'm working on it because it's due. But also, why that topic, right? Why does that topic matter to you? What is it you hope to learn? And my reasoning for that is that if you have some motivation for why you're doing it beyond a requirement, you'll learn more. And then, what are key challenges you are imagining you face? And be concrete. I'm concerned that the language in journals are going to be too scientific. Think about what are the challenges. And lastly, you need a working bibliography. I want to see at least 7 sources that are reliable, that are varied. In other words, I don't want you to just list all sources from the New York Times, the American Journal of Medicine, YouTube videos, okay? They should be varied to give you a broad range of ways to look at your topic. Make sure they're not tertiary, and hopefully you've read about that in the text, but more importantly, Wikipedia can't be a source, and it's not because it doesn't have actually good information. I do think it gives you good background. It's not in depth. The encyclopedia is not in depth. The dictionary is not in depth. Those are fine sources to give you background, but should not be used as sources in the proposal. Right? You need to use a particular documentation system. I don't care what you use. I prefer that you pick one that's appropriate to the area you're researching. But if you want to use APA because you know it well, or MLA because you know it well, that's fine. I want to show you just briefly a couple of the samples. Under samples on the web page, if you scroll down to the bottom, we have a few different research proposals for you to look at. And I'm just going to bring up one so you can see it. Right, so here the student gives a good idea of the overview, gives some background about it, gives actually some statistics from research and sites where she gets it at with that attribution phrase according to. Then talks about more background and starts to go into her purpose after. So here this is showing me she's done some research, talking about maybe some of her research questions, and they're very precise, in terms of stigmas and misconceptions of reading comics. Can comic literacy have a place in the classroom? She talks about her purpose for the project is to promote literacy, and kind of talks about why, it dealt with maybe some questions her son had, and then goes about her main challenge is acquiring enough reliable sources. She's got a solid working bibliography of different sources. So again, this is really setting you up for the research you're doing this semester. I'm thinking that probably as you delve into the research as the semester continues along, your exact research question may change a little. That's fine. The angle of the research may change, but the overall topic can't change. So you can't all of a sudden be looking at something with fracking to start and then decide, you know what, I really want to look at why Frosted Flakes is the new best cereal in the world. So you can tell it's Monday. I'm a little tired. I don't actually eat Frosted Flakes. Anyway, so here's your weekly update. I look forward to reading everyone's proposals. Have a fantastic week.